Rachel Cook here, and welcome to our weekly Facebook Live show. I have no idea today what is going on with the skeleton frame. I tried to get it off before I left before I went on, and I just cannot seem to figure it out. So we're going to just say this is our holiday special since we just finished Halloween here, and we are so excited to dive into fall. So welcome. I'm so excited to dive into today's topic because this is one that has made such an impact in my own business, in my own life. So I want to hear from you. Have you ever found yourself saying something around or along the lines of, when I'm successful, then I'll fill in the blank. So maybe it looks something like, when I'm successful, then I'll upgrade my systems. Or when I'm successful, then I'll hire an assistant. Or when I'm successful, then I'll go get my professional photo shoot. When I'm successful, then I'll launch my program. When I'm successful, I'll write that book. When I'm successful, then I'll stop working nights and weekends and take a vacation. Have you ever said things like this to yourself? If this is sounding familiar, then you're going to love today's episode of Uncomplicate Your Business, because we're going to talk today about the habits, the success habits that you need to upgrade if you really want to create and experience success on your terms in your business and your life. So welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Rachel Cook, and I'm a business growth strategist for women entrepreneurs. I've been coaching entrepreneurs to create more ease and less stress in their businesses for over a decade now. And today we're talking about why this mindset, this waiting until you're successful, might be holding you back from creating that success in your business. So if you're just joining me, welcome. As we get ready to dive in, I would love to hear from you, and you can throw a comment down below. It can be a comment about the crazy little skeletons on this frame. I have no idea what's going on there, but I would love to hear from you. Fill in the blank. What have you caught yourself saying? If you were to say, when I'm successful, then I'll fill in the blank. Let me know. What is that thing that you've been holding back, that you've been waiting to implement? Just share in the comments and let me know what has been coming up for you. Now, this is a question that really shook things up for me because it showed me where I was holding myself back, in my business, in my life. And it can be one of those chicken egg situations, right? You want to up-level your habits and your team and your technology, your brand, but you need the clients and the cash flow, right, in order to do those things. So it can be tricky. It can feel very tricky. And it can also feel tricky when there's areas of your life you want to upgrade. Maybe you want to upgrade your home or your car or your office space or go on vacation, but you feel like, okay, I have to wait until I'm successful to do that. At first, I've got to put in all the long hours and all the hard work, right? Well, maybe not. So if you caught last week's episode about defining what success truly means to you, in your life, in your health, in your relationships, and yes, in your business, then you know that I believe entrepreneurs can experience their version of success right now. So today, I want to share with you a few shifts that will help you to stop waiting for someday to experience that success in your life and in your business. So if you know someone who you think would like this show, I would love you to share it with them. Hit the share button and invite them to join us. So let me pull up here we go. So welcome. I'm so excited to dive into this topic with you guys. If you're just joining me, welcome to Uncomplicate Your Business, a weekly show where I can share how you can keep things simple and strategic to design a successful business and life on your terms. I'm your host, Rachel Cook, business growth strategist for women entrepreneurs. And today we're talking about why you've got to stop waiting on success and how you need to upgrade your success habits today in order to really be experiencing that business and life that you want. So I asked when we got started at the top of the hour, if you said to yourself, if you've ever caught yourself saying, when I'm successful, then I'll fill in the blank. I would love to hear from you guys. What have you ever caught yourself saying? Now, I already see things that people are saying. When I'm successful, then I'll hire a cleaner. When I'm successful, then I'll invest in software. Here's the tricky part about finding yourself in this loop of when I'm successful, then I'll do those things. Is that what tends to happen when we find ourselves in that loop is then suddenly we are putting off the exact things that would help us get where we want to go. So if one of the things you've been saying to yourself is, when I'm successful, then I'll hire a cleaner. This is something that I myself have run into over and over again in my life. Think about how long it takes you to clean your house. For me, it probably would take, if I were to do it top to bottom, probably about 6 to 8 hours to really, I'm a little bit of a neat freak. So for me to really clean the way that I would want to clean the house, that would take me 6 to 8 hours from top to bottom. Think about that. When I'm successful, I'll hire a cleaner. But if I'm putting that action off, what does that mean I'm doing? Instead of spending the money, however much it might cost to hire a cleaner to come, I now am spending my time and my energy for 6 to 8 hours doing a task that doesn't provide value to my business. And if I really think about what my definition of success means to me, it's also taking that time, that 6 to 8 hours I would be cleaning my house. It's taking that time away from quality time with my kids, quality time with my family, with my husband, quality time with my friends who I don't see every single day. So it's taking away from maybe a Saturday where I could be doing something with them. It's taking away from time I could be investing in my own needs, my self-care, my health, my fitness. It's taking a lot of valuable time away from me. So this is something that I started noticing, in my own business really, really early on, because as someone who has been running this business for nearly a decade, and I've been doing it while having small children. My twins are 7, about to turn 8, and my littlest guy is 4, about to turn 5. So this entire time I've been growing my business. I've been very aware of a few things. One, I have very limited time. At first, it was because I had little children. And then it became just because, I decided I didn't want to work 60 hours a week. That wasn't going to work for my life or my lifestyle. So I've only got about 20 or 25 hours a week I've carved out for my business. But I also know, if you went through last week's episode with me, and I encourage you to grab the download. It's still available, rachelcook.com/success, where you can write out your own definition of success. I know that for my definition of success in my life, it includes my life and my lifestyle, being able to have plenty of time, not only with my family, but for myself, to invest in my own self-care, to get my own needs met. It includes time with my friends and family. It includes time on my own personal development and spirituality. It includes, making sure that I'm taking care of myself. That's just so important. So having that definition of success is so incredibly powerful as you start to think about this conundrum that we find ourselves in, where we say to ourselves, when I'm successful, then I'll hire that cleaner. Because when you think about it, if you hired that cleaner, you would free up however many hours that is. And here's the process I started going through that really helped me. I'm going to put down my coffee because I'm about to spill it on my lap. I want to walk you through this process I took myself through when I was making these decisions, because I quickly realized that hiring that cleaner, maybe even twice a month, suddenly freed up so much of my bandwidth, so much of my time and energy, and actually would help me to become more successful, because instead of spending those 6 or 8 hours, every other week cleaning my house top to bottom, instead I had that time to put somewhere that would really move my life forward and make me feel like I was on the right track. So here's a question for you guys to start thinking about. Here's the first part of today's, thought process that we're going to go through. If you haven't done this, the definition of success, again, rachelcook.com/success, grab that download. I think it'll be very, very helpful for you. But adding on to that, something that I have done is this exercise called Future You. And Future You is all about picking I like to pick a milestone age or year that's coming up, that's on the horizon, that feels like, oh, this is something big, something I need to be thinking about what this means to me. So for me, that is 5 years from now, it'll be turning 40. Yeah, it feels like, okay, this is the mid-30s. 40 is on the horizon. I can see it. I can see what 40 looks like. And I can also think about, what does that 40 mean for me? So for you, it might be a milestone age. It might be a milestone year. It might be something around how old your kids are. I know when I'm 40, my twins will be 12 and my little guy will be 8. So that's a pretty big transition family-wise into the stage of life that we're in, right? So for me, 40 is on the horizon. It's 5 years away. I know what that's going to look like in my life. My kids are going to be a little older, middle school's about to, little guy about to go into middle school. It's going to be a big change from where we are right now, where they're really, really little. It means they're going to be super independent. And it means I have a big opportunity in front of me to really grow my life, my family, my business, the direction I want it to go. So I started to think about what future me is going to look like when I'm 40, what I would love future me to look and feel like. How would future me at 40 feel successful? And a couple big things started to show up for me as I was thinking about future me. Future Rachel at 40 with 12-year-old twins, 8-year-old, future me wants to be there with my kids. I want to show up for all the soccer games. I want to take them camping. I know that they'll be super independent by then, so I want to do things that we haven't been able to do quite yet. I want to travel with them. I want to take them sailing up and down the East Coast like I did when I was a kid. I want to be able to have these bigger adventures and experiences with them when they're that age, because it's such a fun stage. What does that look like in other areas of my life? Future me wants to have just an incredible relationship with my husband. In 5 years, that means 15 years of marriage. That is a long time. So I want to make sure that we're celebrating that. We got married really young. I want to be able to do something awesome for our 15th anniversary. Maybe we'll go back to Paris where we got engaged. Some other things come up when I think about future me. And again, be thinking about yourself. That milestone age, that milestone in the future. What does success look like in your family, in your relationships, in your health? Future me knows I've got super active kids and they're already athletic. So if I'm going to keep up with those kids, future me needs to be taking care of her health. Future me doesn't want to have days where I'm just too tired to really do much, or future me doesn't want to go into weekends being too run down from the week that I can't show up and have lots of fun with the kids. I can already tell there's things they're going to want to do. They're going to be into sports. They're going to be into hiking. They're going to be into doing all of these activities. I want to have the energy for that. So future me takes care of herself. Future me goes on walks all the time. Future me is physically active so she can be active with her kids, so she can go hiking with her kids. So it's not a big deal if we decide to spend all day in Disney World. So these are the types of things I start thinking about with future me, how I'm going to show up. There's also future me in my business. So I just outlined all of these things that will happen in my life. Future me in 5 years, at the 40-year mark, 15 years of marriage. It's a big milestone for me. So now I'm going to think about, how will my business support that? How will my business support what I want to be doing? Future me in my business wants to be reaching and serving more people. As I said, my kids will be older. I feel like I'm stepping into a new stage of life where now I have a lot more freedom and bandwidth because they're more independent. So that means future me will be able to reach and serve more people, be able to travel a lot easier without stressing about little toddlers at home. Future me loves the idea of hosting in-person events and retreats. Future me wants to be able to host a team retreat each and every year. Future me wants to be able to give back in a really big way. This year, we've started giving back, behind the scenes to different organizations that really matter to us. And I want to be able to expand on that even more. So for my business, again, it's all about supporting my life. It's all about making sure that it makes sense and supports other goals we might have, like how big of an impact do we want to make? How many people do we want to touch? How many, organizations do we want to support? How many donations do we want to make? How will your business look 5 years from today? So for me, it looks very similar to what I have, just more impact, and also a few more high level, like in-person events and maybe an in-person mastermind type of thing. And I can already see it. 5 years away is going to come up like that. The last 5 years passed really, really quickly. So thinking through this exercise, future you, pick that milestone date in the future, milestone age, milestone year, milestone stage for your family. Maybe for you, it's like, well, when the kids are finally in school, or when the kids are off to college, or maybe it's, well, when we buy that house, or whatever it is. Think about that milestone. What does it look like? What does that success look like for you? So now we need to actually bring it back to reality and start thinking about, how are we showing up today? Because like I said, future you already know what you want that to look like. You probably have a really clear idea of what you want to be experiencing. So that's what you want to have. Now we need to bring it back to, what do you need to do in order to have that, in order to experience that? So thinking about future me 5 years from today, one of the big things for me, and I preach this all the time, is my health, my well-being, my self-care. And it's because it's my greatest weakness. It's my greatest area of opportunity. So if I know when my twins are 12 and my little guy is 8, that I will need to be super healthy in order to keep up with them, in order to take them sailing, in order to go hiking, then what do I need to do in order to be that way? Okay. I need to show up today just as I want to be 5 years from today. I can't wait until, the couple of months before I turn 40 to finally take the steps, right? I need to take the steps now, even if they're small steps. So if I know that I want to be able to take them hiking for a week, that means I need to start working on that. I need to be showing up. I need to be getting out there every morning and getting my morning miles in. It doesn't mean I need to hurt myself, but it means I need to show up at that level in order to experience that in the future. How do I want this to translate into, like I said, my marriage? We'll be married 15 years at that point. So for us, in order to make sure the marriage is strong and solid and, where we want it to be, we want to be able to have these awesome experiences 5 years from now. And yes, we can plan a big anniversary trip, but what could I do right now to invest in that relationship? Well, weekly date nights, making sure that every day we're taking a little bit of time, even if it's just 5 minutes, to just sit down and hold hands and talk about our day, investing in that right now. So where do you need to invest in your relationships now so that they will be there for future you? Where do you need to invest in your health now so that it will be there for future you? In your business, Where do you need to invest your resources, okay? Your time, your energy, and your money, so that it will be there for future you. So where do you need to invest those time, energy, and resources? So it might mean, if future you is running a 6-figure or multiple 6-figure or 7-figure business, what types of things do you need to invest in now in order to get there? Where do you need to put your energy? This is so important. And this is something I talk about all the time. If you've taken my Fired Up and Focused challenge, where is your time going? Because if your time is going into busy work, if you're spending a lot of time in your inbox, a lot of time managing your calendar, a lot of time doing admin, operations, or customer service types of tasks, but you're not doing the CEO level work, you're not doing the business development, you're not focusing on marketing or making more sales and gaining more clients, then it's going to be really hard to get where you need to go. So that's one of the things I'm always thinking about. What does future you need? And how would you show up if future you was sitting here right now? How would you show up? What would you do differently? What do you need to upgrade? What habits do you need to upgrade? And where do you need to invest your time, your energy, and your money? Okay. So the final piece of this, we talked about future you, what you want to have, what you want to feel, what you want to experience. Then we talked about what you need to do right now in order to take those steps towards future you. You can't close that gap like in the blink of an eye. You've got to take the steps now in order to make that happen. Now, the final piece is, who do you need to be in order to get to future you? Who do you need to be in order to achieve those goals? This is so important. And it's kind of the mindset piece that I think we often don't think about. But who do you need to be? What I mean by that is, how are you showing up? So for me, especially, in my business, future me wants me to be operating at this level up here. That means I can't wait till right before I hit, the deadline to start operating at that level. If I'm going to be, a CEO of $1 million business in 5 years, that means I've got to show up like the CEO of $1 million business right now, mindset wise. I might not have all the systems, I might not have all the support, but I can have the mindset. So what does that look like? Well, $1 million CEO is going to do the strategic planning. $1 million CEO is going to make sure that they are working on the most important things in their business. So they're focused on the marketing, the sales, the big picture strategic planning, designing new products, programs, and services. They're going to be focused on the higher end work and not so much the nitty gritty, day-to-day details. The CEO is going to show up as a CEO and make hard decisions, which means they're going to say no to anything that's not aligned with their vision. So how do you need to show up right now? If you want to someday be, running a 6-figure or 7-figure business, how do you need to show up right now? Who do you need to be right now? You need to show up as a CEO. You need to make sure your time, energy, and resources are going in the right areas. You need to stay focused on the big picture and stay focused on that big picture strategy. You need to make sure that you're not getting distracted by those shiny objects. So big picture CEO doesn't get pulled off course by tons of, FOMO and new things popping up in their view all the time. So who do you need to be right now? This is such a powerful question, and I hope that this starts to get you guys thinking about how you're showing up in all of these areas of your life and your business, and starting to see where you can upgrade your habits and your mindset. If you were to not just have future you off in the future, totally separated from you right now, in all of these areas of your life, in all of these areas of your business. So remember, if you haven't done the definition of success, make sure you download this action guide because it'll help you create your definition of success for your life, your health, your relationships, your business. And it's going to be so impactful for you to go through this process and then say, okay, if that is my definition of success, how am I showing up? How am I showing up today? If I'm acting as if this has already happened, this is already true, how would future me need to show up? How do I need to show up in order to be future me? So if you love this conversation today, I think you'll love the Plan Your Best Year Ever challenge. It is coming up next week. It's a 100% free 5-day challenge to create a 12-month action plan around success on your terms. You can join me at rachelcook.com/best-year-ever. And I would love, love, love to see you there. So thanks again for being here. Can't wait to connect with you guys again on the next Uncomplicate Your Business. And we'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.